Murphy's Law of Power, the point of no return. How awareness broke the old order. By author name. For decades, Pakistan's political and power structures relied on one advantage: limited public awareness. People did not know how the system actually works. They were told politics is dirty, politicians are all the same, questioning power is treason, and silence equals patriotism. For a long time, it worked. Decisions were made behind closed doors, institutions expanded beyond their mandate, and power operated without explanation. The public accepted it because they had no reason not to. But this status quo began to shift. Not overnight, not because of one speech or one leader. People started asking fundamental questions. What is the role of an army in a modern state? Is it to defend borders or manage economies? To ensure security or shape politics? To protect the Constitution or rewrite it? The answer proved simple. An army exists to defend. Nothing more, nothing less. It does not run businesses, control narratives, decide governments, or demand public loyalty campaigns. This realization came from exposure, comparison, and information. People learned how other countries function. They understood civil supremacy and how ministries, secretaries, and constitutional chains actually work. And once awareness arrived, the old explanations stopped making sense. Labels replaced answers. Dissenter, troublemaker, fitna, mob. Language shifted from explanation to insult, from accountability to intimidation. Press conferences became political speeches, defense briefings turned into social media rants, and criticism was treated as rebellion. When the state stops explaining and starts threatening, people stop trusting and start observing. Force followed: batons, bullets, arrests, disappearances. The assumption was simple: fear will erase belief. It was wrong. You can silence mouths, but you cannot erase memory. You can block speech, but you cannot stop thought. As restrictions grew, people became sharper observers. They saw constitutional manipulations, engineered elections, sudden legal protections, and immunity being written into law. They asked a dangerous question: why does someone who claims innocence need protection from the future? Before, people did not know how armies operate elsewhere or what happens in deliberately invisible regions. Now they do. Information flows faster than suppression. Reality exposes manufactured patriotism. Patriotism is responsibility, not obedience. A country is not soil, it is its people. Pakistan is not land, Pakistan is Pakistanis. This awakening has continued without instructions, speeches, or direction. Once the human mind activates common sense, external validation is no longer needed. Truth and falsehood become distinguishable internally. Lies no longer work. Murphy's Law applies to power. What can go wrong will go wrong. What is fundamentally unsustainable eventually fails. Authoritarianism collapses once people understand its mechanics, not through rebellion, but through rejection. Generation Z knows. Generation Alpha is watching. A system built on fear cannot survive memory. The illusion of control. Legal exemptions, constitutional amendments, and selective laws are not signs of strength, they are signs of fear. Strong systems prepare for accountability, weak systems run from it. Every legal shield built proves fear. Murphy's Law applies again. Every corner cut, every shortcut for power, eventually exposes the system. Every attempt to avoid accountability multiplies risk. You can delay elections, restrict media, or manage narratives, but you cannot reverse awareness. Generations raised on global exposure cannot be governed by closed systems. They understand patriotism is not submission, security is not control, stability is not silence, authority is not legitimacy. A state exists to serve its citizens, not discipline them. The day the story died. Control was lost not because of a man, but because the lie expired. For decades, power survived on the assumption that people would never understand how it works. The public was trained to distrust politics, worship uniforms, and confuse fear with respect. And it worked until it didn't. Nothing collapsed suddenly. The system cracked slowly. People noticed patterns: a falling economy, dying businesses, youth leaving. Yet institutions expanded, housing societies grew, corporations thrived, privileges multiplied. National interest became private interest. Neutrality became orchestration. Democracy became selection. Contradiction proved fatal. Attempts to answer, step back, or respect limits were replaced with panic. An elected government was removed without proof. Obedience was installed without legitimacy. Questions were silenced with force, and explanation was replaced with propaganda. Authority became occupation. Insults replaced dialogue. Professional forces argued with citizens. Secure institutions lost confidence. Every press conference revealed insecurity. Every slogan confirmed loss of control. People stopped listening to the leader and began listening to themselves. Fear works on ignorance. Violence works on isolation. Censorship works on silence. None of these exist anymore. Information flows faster than orders, memory outlives intimidation, and awareness multiplies under pressure. Every crackdown produced 10 new critics. Every arrest created 100 witnesses. People fought reality. Reality always wins. Patriotism is protecting rights, not crushing voices. Security is safeguarding citizens, not policing opinions. Once this was realized, the monopoly on nationalism ended. Attempts to repair credibility with control never work. Murphy's Law: every attempt to secure power through shortcuts and force accelerates collapse. This is irreversible, not because people are angry, but because they understand. Control will not end dramatically, it will fade. Systems disconnected from reality cannot survive reality. History does not punish, it replaces. And replacement has already begun.